I bought every single Versace fragrance so you don't have to. And in this video, I'm gonna rank them from my least favorite to my favorite and break down every single fragrance as I do it. There are no private line fragrances in this video. It's only their mass marketed fragrance collections. So let's begin. In dead last, we have the only fragrance of this entire video I would say is not good, in my opinion. This fragrance was launched in 1984 and it's called Versace L'Homme. Honestly, this fragrance in itself, it smells extremely outdated. It has like urinal puck type of vibe, almost like YSL Kuros. This fragrance was perfumed by Roger Pellegrino, 1984. Maybe it was good at the time, it just doesn't hold up anymore. This fragrance in itself, you're getting some lemon, some basil, some old outdated floral note called carnation, which you don't see at all anymore. There's also some like cinnamon, patchouli. There's everything but the kitchen sink in here. But if you're an older gentleman who doesn't mind a fragrance that is seen as outdated in today's standards, this could be good. It's kind of a signature scent that you could wear all year round for everything. I'm just being real, it's just not for me, okay? And that's what this video is. It's genuinely just me rating things based on my own personal preferences. And I can guarantee as we go in through this line, some people are gonna get annoyed at my rankings, but that's okay.
I don't give up.
So now every single fragrance on this video is at least good. I like the rest of the Versace fragrances except for this one, and that's why it's one of my favorite houses. Next we have, unfortunately, Versace Blue Jeans. This was released in 1994. This is kind of a fresh, gentlemanly fragrance, kind of smells like fresh kind of aftershave. Again, everything but the kitchen sink in terms of notes, but you get some like citrusy notes, you get some vanillas, you get some spicier things like rosemary, lavender, sandalwood, and tonka bean. I really think that this is actually a lot better than people give it credit for. It's also the most affordable Versace fragrance. I think I bought this like 75 ml for maybe like $22 at my local Shoppers Drug Mart. Worth every penny. In my opinion, if you wanted a daily driver, don't listen to the TikTok negative comments about this. Even though it ranked so low, this is still a great fragrance, and especially getting a Versace fragrance for such an affordable price, I think is a bonus. Performance on this, not too good, not too bad. It is eau de toilette. I do get eau de toilette performance. In the end, I think that there are just better Versace fragrances, even though I think that this is good. This next fragrance was perfumed by Alberto Marias in 2008, and it is Versace Pour Homme. I think that this is a great smelling fragrance. The problem with it is, it's basically a clone of Chanel Allure Homme Sport. It smells maybe 80 to 90% the same, except this is a little bit more floral. So you get that kind of citrus tonka combination in here. There is some neroli to clean it up, but you're also getting a cedar kind of backbone and some musk. Alberto Marias, he is an amazing perfumer, and to think that they just kind of ripped off Chanel Allure Homme Sport, slapped it in this bottle, did some slight adjusting, kind of like sits with me the wrong way. Also, the fact that the biggest flaw to this is performance. I don't know if it was reformulated or what, but the performance on this is absolute crap.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
That's why I'm saying like this ranks so low, is because you could just get like Missoni Wave or even Chanel Allure Homme Sports and have a better overall experience than you would with this. That's why I'm saying it's so low. But I'm also still disappointed by the fact that they just kind of swagger jacked someone. It's a little weird in my opinion, but there's going to be more of those in this video. I just think that this, unfortunately, is basically toilet water, just like its concentration eau de toilette in terms of its performance, which kind of sucks. If you want a fresh, clean, kind of summertime fragrance with a little bit of hint of sweetness and a little bit of seductive appeal, this is going to be a fragrance that you would enjoy. Just, I think there's better picks, which I previously stated. Now, the next on the list, again, is going to be so controversial. I can just see the comments, but guys, I'm not going to say the mass appealing ranking here. I'm going to give you my personal thoughts, regardless of what I rated things in previous reviews. These are current impressions based on today's market and my personal opinions. The next one I would rank is Giovanni Versace's last creative directed fragrance. This was released in 1996, I believe, and this is Versace The Dreamer. This does have a little bit of an old, like a 90s type of smell. Yeah, you could say it has some kind of similarities to La Malle, but I disagree, okay? I think that this is just as much different as it is the same. Not like this one, which is basically 80 to 90%. This is maybe like 40 or less percent La Malle. So this is kind of a vanilla tobacco fragrance. You're also getting some lavender, some iris, some amber in here as well. In my opinion, this is like a kind of sweet floral fragrance with a little bit of powdery under edges as well. This is your like more dress up, classier scent profile than some of the previous ones. Like I would wear this more professionally or dressed up, suit and tie, stuff like that. Like I said, some people are going to find this kind of scent profile outdated. However, I think that the perfumery to this was done beautifully. I truly think that this is kind of a good combination between feminine undertones with masculine overtones, if that makes sense. It's the clash between the two, but this makes it lean in more of a masculine direction. I think that this doesn't get enough credit, and I truly believe that a lot of people that are okay with older kind of 90s types of scent profiles look into Versace the Dreamer, man. I think this 50 ml was like $21 at Shoppers as well. Insane price value with some of these Versace fragrances, which is why I love the house so much and why I'm doing this whole ranking video, is because you will always, anyone, no matter who you are, will find something in the Versace lineup. Something for everyone at a pretty good price. So this next fragrance, although I like the scent profile, my reasoning behind this is it's not the best one and it could have been better. This is Versace Eros Najim. I do think that this is a great smelling fragrance. This is actually one of the newer releases too, being in 2024 it was released. The problem with this was a Dubai exclusive that was marketed around the scent profile of oud. This is basically caramel, it's oud, it's kind of the signature Eros DNA. It has a little bit of this patchouli earthy kind of undertone as well, and you get a wisp of incense. My criticism towards this fragrance is they should have went deeper. They should have went darker. They did not give a full effort in my opinion. This was almost like a half-assed attempt at kind of a Middle Eastern Dubai exclusive. You want to see a great example of that? 1 Million Golden Oud by Paco Rabanne. That is exactly what a Dubai or Middle Eastern exclusive fragrance should be. This is very mass appealing. If you like the Eros DNA and you wanted something a little bit more mature, sophisticated, a little bit more masculine, this is definitely the pick of the litter for you. I really do like the scent profile of this, but when I'm reaching for Versace Eros, it's not this one. I'm just gonna be real. Great performance though, but could have done better, Versace. So this next fragrance was also released around 2024 as well, Versace Eros Energy, and it kind of suffers from the same fate as Versace Pour Homme. It has two big downsides in my opinion ethically. This has nothing to do with the scent profile of Versace Eros at all. And the problem with that is that Versace Eros is an established DNA. Every single other Versace Eros flanker twists the DNA of Versace Eros and kind of just adds or takes away or kind of enhances it in some sort of manner. It's a little bit spicier and citrusier. Najim even is a little bit more darker, it's deeper, and it's a little bit more refined, so to speak. This one, not even close to Versace Eros. This is basically Creed Aventus cologne done a little bit more lemon heavy. This fragrance has different types of lemon and also the peel of the lemon, so you're getting a huge burst of citrus in the forefront, but this is also being surrounded by some musk, some woods, and I think a little bit of pink pepper or something like that to give it a little bit of a fresh, spicy sweetness underneath this. A great smelling fragrance. Again, Versace. It's just disappointing. This should have been, or could have been, in the Versace Pour Homme line, since the Versace Pour Homme line is not really an established DNA. All the fragrances in that line smell completely different and kind of swagger jack things. You should have put this there. Why put this in an Eros bottle? I don't know, but this is just perfume and I feel my cortisol levels spiking for no reason at all, okay? It's not that serious of a hobby, guys.
I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
You want a fresh citrusy fragrance that'll carry you through spring and summer with some pretty decent performance, a masculine citrus edge. This is a great fragrance for that, but again, I think that even buying a clone of Creed Aventus cologne could probably do it, if not better, for cheaper. This is the newest release by Versace, and this is Versace Man Eau Fraiche Extreme. When this fragrance came out, I was so pumped. Why? Because I truly love Versace Man Eau Fraiche. A perfect fragrance for the summertime. What bothered me about this release is that it smells like you're layering the original Versace Man Eau Fraiche with YSL Myself. They basically took that popular orange blossom note, the little bit florals and sweetness, and slapped it in here and then just called it a day. Now there is a little bit of woodier, kind of spicier undertones to this one. Versace, you have the resources to make your own creative direction. You don't need to swagger jack other companies' stuff and border into the clone house territory. You're better than that in my opinion. I truly believe that when this dries down, it basically becomes an enhanced version of the original, except for that whole swagger jacky kind of YSL Myself DNA thing. Now, when we're talking about overall fragrance scent profiles, I do believe that this is a little bit hated on. And in fact, when I did a first impressions on this fragrance, I also hated on this fragrance because I was just disappointed at the swagger jack thing. Either way, this definitely performs better than the original. It's kind of an enhanced summertime fragrance that you could wear kind of professionally, dressed down, dressed up. It's kind of a versatile fragrance, which leads me into a 2006 release. The next one on this list is the original Versace Man Eau Fraiche. This is probably one of only two fully unique scent profiles in the Versace lineup. The only thing that holds it back is a little bit of the performance. I was hoping that this would just be an enhancement of this. However, it just adds something new, which I wasn't really a fan of until the dry down. But this one is iconic for its starfruit note. It's a very fruity tropical scent profile with a musky kind of undertone to it. There's other citruses, some woods, a little bit of some spice as well. It smells like a summertime tropical fragrance. I love that the design on the box is supposed to look like sun shining onto fresh water and then like leaving those shadows from the waves on the pool floor. There is a little bit nowadays, I'm not sure if the older formulations had that as well, but a little bit of this like burn your nostrils kind of alcohol type of smell. It is what it is though. This is iconic. It's one of Versace's best fragrances ever made, but performance just sucks and it's holding it back, truthfully.
Would like to take notes while I take.
So the next fragrance on this list, this was released in 2018. This is Versace Eros Flame. This is a truly amazing fragrance, except when I'm craving Eros, I just don't reach for this. Because this does share Versace Eros DNA. It was flankered correctly, but this is a twist of Versace Eros. Versace Eros, you get the eau de toilette, you get the eau de parfum, and the parfum. If that was those three, this is over here. It's something different. What does this do differently? It still has that kind of minty, fruity kind of vanillic smell that Versace Eros does do, except this one adds a little bit of this like peppery smell. It also adds kinoto, which is almost like green kind of citrusy scent profile. I'm trying to describe it as best as I can, but it also adds orange. So this brightens up, makes the fragrance a little bit brighter, but also a little bit spicier as well. In my opinion, the most masculine, because Versace Eros in itself can be kind of seen as a little bit juvenile, kind of party boy fragrance. I know a lot of people say that this is like a spring or fall fragrance. In my opinion, this is almost a year-rounder because you get some darker elements, you know, your vanillas, you get some brighter elements from your summer, you get some earthy elements from spring and fall. It could be worn all year round. I just wouldn't wear it professionally. Quite good performance too. Simply put, I just don't reach for this one enough. So that's why I can't rank it higher, but I truly understand if this is your pick, and I guarantee it's a lot. Which leads me to a 2020 release, and my only flanker from Versace Eros that I actually own between the eau de toilette, the eau de parfum, and the parfum. I chose Versace Eros Eau de Parfum. So if you guys didn't know, Versace Eros is a very polarizing fragrance in itself because a lot of people hate it and a lot of people love it. However, if you ever went to a club in like the mid 2000s, you smelled Versace Eros. The problem with the original Versace Eros, it was definitely 100% unquestionably reformulated. The eau de toilette is a shell of its former self in terms of its beast mode performance it used to have, but this one kind of fixes that. And it's also the mid-ground between the Versace Eros lineup. It's a mint kind of fruity, vanillic type of scent profile, but the mint is kind of the characteristic that kind of screams at you. Vanilla and tonka provide this sweetness, but you cannot tell me that if you're into perfume, you do not know what Versace Eros smells like. Even if it's a controversial fragrance, it's a hate or a love, it's polarizing, and that's what makes a fragrance good. When it's able to be so polarizing to people, it becomes iconic. Your 1 Millions, your Dior Sauvages are also able to do that. It's uniquely distinct, and that's what I think Versace did a grand slam with this fragrance. That's why it's one of the most sold men's fragrances of all time still to this date. Well, either any of the Versace Eros fragrances. My preference is the eau de parfum because it takes the darker elements of the parfum, which the parfum goes a little bit deeper, but the brighter, kind of sweeter, more playful elements of the eau de toilette, and it just becomes the mid-ground with still amazing performance, better than the eau de toilette. This is why I truly believe that this is the best and my only concentration of the original Eros DNA I still have. I don't need any of the other ones. If I'm craving in between these two, I have a very balanced scent profile. If I want something in the summertime, I can get away with a little bit more. However, when I'm craving Versace Eros eau de parfum every time. Otherwise, I'll look at something else, and that's just my opinion, right? We are in the final two. These final two fragrances are not the most unique scent profiles in the world. In second place on the line, we have a 2013 release, Oud Noir. Truly, I believe that this is one of the best smelling, most high quality, almost niche-esque smelling fragrances in Versace's lineup. This is saffron, it's oud, it's a little bit brightened with orange, some earthier patchouli type of notes. You get some leather and pepper as well. This in itself is an oud woody fragrance, like Tom Ford's Oud Wood. But I don't find this to be like a direct clone. In my opinion, I can definitely see where it takes kind of inspirations because it is an oud and a woody fragrance. To me, it smells like kind of a high-class hotel lobby where someone was just having a little bit of a smoke break nearby. Like it has a little bit of wisp from this oud, a little bit of like woody characteristics from this saffron oudi combo. I think that this is truly a great fragrance with its one flaw, at least in newer batches, being its performance. I just was expecting a little bit more oomph from an eau de parfum, a fragrance marketed as dark oud. It's not very dark, it's not oudy, it's not really risky. This is super, super mass appealing. If you want to decide if you're into oud or saffron dominant fragrances, just check out Oud Noir. It's still a top seller. I think it's Versace's most expensive fragrance that's not on the newer end of the spectrum. It's a banger. It falls a little bit flat towards the dry down. Unfortunately, you lose a lot of that characteristic of the opening. The opening is like a 9 easily out of 10 for me, but it starts starts to slowly go downhill the more I have it on skin because it just loses the character of the opening. I guarantee you older batches are better, but that's the issue with this fragrance, is that in today's market, it can't keep up anymore. I wish they went a little bit darker on this, but so fantastic of a scent profile, which leads me to my #1 spot. I can guarantee some people are not going to agree with this, and that is totally okay. Versace Dylan Blue. So this was released in 2016. I know a lot of people are going to say that this is kind of a swagger jack of Bleu de Chanel or Dior Sauvages of the world. I just got to be truthful with you guys. When I have a friend that is not into fragrances at all and they want one fragrance that is going to carry them and give them a masculine, gritty type of edge, I've recommended this to multiple friends of mine and even bought a bottle for a friend as their first and only fragrance. I truly have a lot of faith in this fragrance. It pulls compliments, it's versatile, it smells great. It even has a little bit of a niche-esque type of risky appeal to it that I just absolutely love. This is kind of a combination between bright grapefruit, a smoky type of incense, some earthy patchouli, and broxin, which you find in Dior Sauvage, and musky characteristics. If you were to be seasonal with it, I would say fall nights or like summer nights give this a amazing vibe to it. It's very attractive smelling, but it is a little bit polarizing. Like the first time I smelled this, I was like, I'm not sure. Like I almost smelled some like burnt hair type of vibe through that incense. Instead of this fragrance, which when you wear it, it goes like this fragrance goes like this the more you wear it. It just has that appeal on me. So guys, that is my ranking of the entire Versace lineup of everything that is still available today. I didn't really include any discontinued gems, but I want to hear you guys roast me in the comments below for my opinion on these fragrances, and I also want to know your opinion on which Versace fragrances are your favorite. Now, if you want to see any of the reviews of these, I've definitely done a lot of them, so thank you guys for joining me on this adventure. If you want to see any more house breakdowns, let me know in the comments below, and definitely check out this video right here.